繋がれてるよ I'm like マリオネットそんなのありえねえよ一体どうなってるのキャンプゾブラ気安く触る
This is a project, right? The name of this project is the segment, the principle of the segment influence in the transmitter. As civil engineers have an important work in this type of project because if you see, the civil engineers have relationships with this type of project. The pavement, the bridge, you see the bridge, the road, and the segment is very important for the transmitter. Something important in the civil engineering is that have for example, the engineer, and one of the most important ranks of the civil engineer is the municipal or urban engineer. This is fundamental in this type of project. 自分が欲しがらなきゃ誰かの手に渡っちゃうぜ Stand up, something to reach out forever
In the last part of the project, I talk about one example of application of civil engineer. In this moment, I will talk about more about civil engineer. It's the oldest engineer discipline after military engineer. It is traditionally broken into several sub-disciplines, including environment engineer, transportation engineer, construction engineer. In this moment, my civil partners will talk about more construction engineer.
When we want to build an infrastructure, we need to follow 4 important steps. The first is the design. The design, my partner David is going to talk about. I'm going to talk about the build of the model, the cost, and finally the construction. First, we need to build a model. Why? Because it's important to see how the structure will look when it's finished. It's important because in the model we can see if something is wrong with our infrastructure and we can fix it. When we want to define the cost, we need to define the cost of iron, grid, and most important, the people that are going to work in the infrastructure. Finally, we need to study the ground. When we want to study the ground, we need to do a lot of studies. My partner David is going to talk about it. So, when we want to study the ground, we need to be sure that the ground is clean of trash and rubbish. Why? Because it's the most important part of the infrastructure because it's on the base of it. Thanks.
自分が欲しがらなきゃ誰かの手に渡っちゃうぜ Stand up, something to reach out forever
Today I'm going to talk about the structural steps of a construction. This is one of the most important steps because in this phase of the structure, the engineer has to draw the plane. The plane is like the structure, the columns, and the installation. In this plane, the engineer has to design, for example, the base of the whole structure. In base of that, the engineer can design the columns and the different rooms of the building. For example, here in the S12 is a structure of 4 levels. As we can see in this room, Another important step in the design of a building is the ceiling. The engineer has to calculate the material and the iron that he is going to use for the structure to support the levels. For example, to calculate the bastion of a column, the engineer has to make a mathematical operation, that is to use the usable space of the room, divided into 4, to calculate the bastion, and to calculate the tension of a column. The engineer has to make another operation, that is the usable space divided into 5 to get the tension of the iron. And that would be the most important things of the structural steps of construction of a building.
Other important application of the civil engineering is the pavement of a determinate place. In this case, as you can see, I'm the parking of the S12. This project is very important because from part of service of the university to the students. Road surface or pavement is the durable surface material lies down on an area intended to sustain vehicular or foot traffic, such as a road or walkway. Compositive surfaces combine Portland, cement, concrete, and asphalt. They are usually used to reality existing roadway structures that
Countdown, 3, 2, 1, どこか線引いついたボム。This kind of 動かなきゃ fucking time's running out.